As a continuation to the previous topic, now we are going to discuss on the life cycle of servlet. The life cycle of servlet deals with loading the servlet class, creating an servlet instance, invoking the init method, invoking service method, and finally invoking the destroy method. So the main concept deals here is we have to use java x dot servlet is the basic interface for Java Servlet API. So public void, that is public abstract void init of is a method which is used to initialize the servlet, which takes the parameter as servlet configuration. That is servlet config is a parameter here. So we have to throw the servlet exception in order to handle the exception that are all created, that are all caught in servlet. So the next one is public abstract servlet config get servlet config off. This is the method is used to return a servlet config object, and public abstract void service of is the method used to give the response for the corresponding client's request. Get servlet info is the method in order to get the information about the servlet like author, version, and copyright. And finally, the destroy of is the method that is called only once in the servlet lifecycle in order to close the resources that are all allocated for servlet. So remember that the init of and destroy of are the methods that are all called only once in the entire lifetime of the servlet. The init of is called when the servlet is created, and destroy of is called when the servlet is going to end its life. So for servlet programming, we have to use java x.servlet.servlet interface. That is, we have to implement that interface, and also in order to handle the requests there are two different classes. One is http servlet and another one is generic servlet. So as same as applets, servlets also lacking in main method. This is what generic servlet. So when we are using generic servlet, we have to extend our own class to the generic servlet class. The generic servlet class resides in java x.servlet package. For generic servlets, in order to handle the requests, we have to use the service method. The service method takes two parameters. One is servlet request and another one is servlet response. Here in generic servlet, all the methods have to throw the servlet exception in order to handle the exceptions created while using the servlet, and also if there is a chance for any IO exceptions, we have to throw IO exception. In general, the content type will be text bar plain. That is, the plain format of the text is set as a content type in response. So the requests are handled through the server by the generic servlet class with the help of service method. In turn, the responses are generated from the service method is sent to the client through the server. The HTTP servlet, in order to use the HTTP servlet, as in the generic servlets, we have already discussed that the generic servlet uses the Java X.servlet package. Inside that Java X.servlet, there is a generic servlet class. We have to extend the generic servlet class to our own user defined class, and we have to use the service method in order to process the request. It contains two parameters, one is servlet request parameter and another one is servlet response parameters. So we have to throw the exception, servlet exception and IO exception. The content type of the response will be text bar plain. Similarly, in HTTP servlet, we have to extend Java X dot servlet dot HTTP dot HTTP servlet, and we have to use either doGet method or doPost method as a service method in HTTP servlet. Both doGet and doPost method uses two parameters. One is request parameter and another one is response parameter. Here also we have to throw the exception, servlet exception and IO exception. So the content type will be set as, the response content type is set as text bar plain, and then it is a basic example to print the hello world. Here we are going to use printWriter class. For printWriter class, we have created the object named as out. The out object is referencing with response.getWriterOf. So now when we are printing, that is out.println of hello world, this hello world will send into printWriter object. In turn, the printWriter object will send the message through the writer to the response object, which will be displayed in client side.